Waddle and Silvy on ESPN Radio and ESPN2. We're presented by Progressive Insurance. All phone guests on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line. Ryan Russillo is going to join us in studio coming up here in just about 10 minutes from right now. J.R. Strauss, one of our co-workers back in Chicago running the board right now, just sent me a link, Waddle, to what you and maybe others would like, a translucent pumpkin pie. A restaurant in Chicago distills it and it makes it crystal clear.
So it doesn't have that
the
kind
look
of
that turns you off.
mustardy brown
Yes.
look.
Right.
Okay. I will open my mind. Maybe I will try some.
Jeff tweets us. He says, "You just ruined my Thanksgiving. LOL. Want to do a deep fried turkey and drink a 12-pack."
My advice was just the following. I know that deep frying a turkey can be a dangerous exercise if, in fact, you're not very careful. So what I'm suggesting to people, again, I'm the shot doctor. I'll help you fix your jump shot. I will also help keep you safe. If you are going to deep fry your turkey, make sure that you're not going to knock down 6 or 12 beers beforehand.
That's a good tip. Pro tip right there.
Saying,
RR tweet says, "I'm with you on the pumpkin pie thing, Waddle. It's nothing special, but try warming it up a little bit and smothering it with whipped cream. It's not bad."
Now you're just trying to disguise an awful look with whipped cream. You're trying to fool me. You know? I mean,
you'll eat anything with whipped cream.
I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but you can't fool me like that. Hey, here's a handful of dirt. Put some whipped cream on it. It'll be great.
Let's pause for 10 seconds. It's Waddle and Silvy.
Tired and less point. Now he said, well, I'll work on all that.
Sort of a coach's type breakdown from your wife.
And now, here's Waddle and Silvy on ESPN Radio and ESPN2.
That's right, it's Waddle and Silvy on ESPN Radio and ESPN2. Final hour for us, the Chicago guys. We'll be back in the city after the holiday weekend.
I can hear Twitter celebrating.
Everybody's celebrating, yes.
Can you hear Twitter celebrate?
Golick will be back on Monday. His new co-host, Trey Wingo, will debut with him on Monday the 27th. So one more hour for us. We'll also have Paul Feinbaum. Both of us said to each other during one of the breaks, neither of us have ever had Paul Feinbaum on our local show.
Yeah, I don't think we've ever had a conversation with Paul.
But we have talked to Ryan Russillo, who does a great job on the Ryan Russillo Show, and he joins us in studio giving us some Straight Talk, brought to you by Straight Talk Wireless, best phones, best networks, and no contracts. And yeah, it's not even like an interview. We're just sitting here, shooting the
The breeze.
Yeah.
Shooting the breeze.
We go way back with
I know you only got an hour left, but let's keep it on the up and up. Shooting the breeze is what we're doing.
When we did our local show yesterday, one of the first guests we said that we wanted in studio was Ryan after his show. So it's great to see you again.
Yeah, man. Early morning for you guys, so let's do it.
Yeah, we talked a ton of NBA yesterday with you. We'll get to that later, but I'd like to talk some college football with you. The playoff rankings come out last night. Miami jumps Clemson, but other than that, same old, right?
Yeah, the Miami thing was a little surprising, and I think when I first looked at it, I go, well, wait a minute, what are you telling me now? So Miami jumps them, and I didn't have a problem with Miami struggling against Virginia at all. I actually thought that was impressive to see them get down, have kind of this noon kickoff after these two fiery, hyped-up weekends, and they respond and run away from Virginia there. And
and Kirby Hocutt felt the same way.
Yeah, so if you're in the room, and it's really close last week with Clemson and Miami, I was always surprised that Clemson was ahead of them. I felt like they were really excusing the Clemson and Syracuse loss because of the Kelly Bryant injury. And that was part of it, but I also saw Clemson defense. They couldn't get off the field against Syracuse, so they couldn't get the football back. So I think that plays into it there a little bit. So if it's really, really close, I don't mind you liking a team with a loss more than another team, but I thought it was close, and I would have gone with the undefeated team. So then for them to switch it after the Citadel and Virginia matchups, I think maybe as I've settled down from my tweet last night going, that doesn't make any sense, that it's probably, if it was that close, if it's razor thin 2 weeks ago, maybe just somebody in the room goes, hey, you know what, I watched them again, maybe I like Miami a little bit better this week, that sways the room, that ends up with them in the 2 spot.
And the great thing is that will play itself out in the ACC title game, more than likely, unless...
Although I don't love that one, like people do, oh, whatever, just let it work. Hey, man, I got 15 hours a week.
Yeah.
Okay? Don't tell me what I can and
We'll
can't
work it out later.
rise on.
Could you also see a scenario where Pitt makes them sweat? I mean, Miami has, as impressive as they have been, highlighted by their blowout win over Notre Dame. They have had to sweat out a couple of these wins.
That was the knock on Miami prior to the Virginia Tech win and
Right.
the Notre Dame win, is that it's 4 opponents in a row there that aren't great, and you go, man, you're in these one-score games, so that's why you looked at Virginia Tech and maybe like them better. I picked Notre Dame. I was horribly wrong. Like, I thought Notre Dame was going to go down there with that offensive line and push those guys around, and instead it's that front that's awesome with Jackson and McIntosh and how quick they are, and you're just like, okay, I guess it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter because the speed was just outworking all the turnovers Notre Dame, too. I mean, that thing was over pretty quick. So, yeah, this whole thing, yes, the easy answer to it all is that, oh, it's going to work itself out. Who cares, 2 and 3? Hey, the rankings come out. It's a TV show. We predicted yesterday. We will talk, maybe even lead my show with it today. So, yeah, that was a little surprising, but I can understand it, I guess, a few hours removed from it.
You have the chairman on today, Kirby Hocutt. You do a weekly with him
Yeah.
at 1:30 Eastern. How open is he to the give and take or feedback when you speak to him?
Feedback. That's a great
Because
way
I've
to
got
put
a
it.
Mike
Yeah.
Leach soundbite too I want to play after your answer.
I try, I'll say, what significance is the Kelly Bryant injury? Okay? And I try to get really specific. I'll say, put me in the room. What is the most debated point this week? And what he does great, and what Jeff Long did previous to him, is that they never will be specific enough for you to lock them into some kind of precedent. It's actually really impressive. Okay, so when people get frustrated, they go, we don't know what they're thinking, we don't know what they're doing. That is by design. At no point was Jeff Long or Kirby ever going to say, guys, yeah, we think the SEC's deeper this year, or the Pac-12's a little weak, or you know what, there's just a lot of people in the room that feel like Wisconsin's run defense is they're not going to do that, because then if you do that, then week after week after week, we're like, no, you guys said this, you said this. That's exactly what we would do to them. So yes, we try. I come up with my 3 or 4 things. I don't want to waste any bullets with it, but I can't ever seem to. I don't know. I couldn't crack Jeff forever. So
Mike Gundy gave the all-time greatest college football podium rant ever, but Mike Leach is in the team photo, and he had another good one yesterday. I want to play you this, and then I want your response.
Let's get us a committee. Well, who should be on the committee? Well, I don't know. This guy's a good guy. Let's have him on the committee. Well, I mean, there's people on the committee that don't even have remote associations with football, nor have they at any level other than being a fan. But you know what? Let's have them on a committee. Why not? And then, I mean, it'd be fun. We'd go to that resort. We could talk. We could hang out at dinner. And then we'll decide which 4 teams should go. We ought to have an extended playoff system, just like everybody else does. I mean, this isn't reinventing the wheel. This is, instead of clumping down the road on our square wheel, considering the notion of rounding some of the edges off so it'll spin.
He's great, isn't he?
he is. He did a hit with us where I asked him about just the climate in today's world, and he went about 8 minutes. It's a record answer for one question. We were about 6 minutes past the break, which is, here national. It's just they'll have people in coats drag you out of the studio.
Exactly.
And it was one of the best worst interviews I've ever done. He's funny, and that's really, it's funny, okay? And it's actually something that we had said yesterday, because I was always talking about college football guy that just revels in hating the NBA. And I go, I love college football, but if I explained it to my friends that didn't follow it, and they go, how's it work? I go, well, this is like 13 people that vote on who gets to play for a championship. Like, that seems kind of stupid. Like, it would sound stupid that way. But this is a classic example. Like, it's funny and he's right, but I actually disagree with him, because when we had the BCS, we hated the lack of transparency, right? We hated that it was some formula. Oh, the formula, and the computers love the Big 12. This is stupid. So then we form a committee, right? Because we love committees and everything. But what I've learned more about sports in the last couple of years is that as soon as something's changed, we hate it. And we want everything. We spend so many hours talking about all these hypothetical changes. I mean, we spend an off season going the extra point. Like, who cares?
Right.
Who cares? One of my favorite ones is the NBA injury stuff, okay? So what's happened? Season was too long. All right, fine. Too many back-to-backs. That was a little overstated. Too many 4 and 5 nights. Half the league didn't even play in them, okay? So we eliminate those. We have less back-to-backs. We extend the season. We give them a spring break in the middle of it. And now because the season started too early, what are we hearing? A lot of injuries because the season started too early and these guys aren't ready. And you go, well, what do you want?
Right.
Make up your mind. So, yeah, you can knock the idea, the theory of a committee, and say it's stupid. And I might kind of laugh along with you, because it does seem weird that you just have people sitting in a room voting on this stuff. But to extend it to 16...